Everybody, welcome to Shut Up When Grown Folks Are Talking. It's your host, Dougie Fresh Kids, a.k.a. Fred Money. How's everybody doing today? What's going? We're chilling like a villain up in here on a Monday morning. We got all things to talk about. We got the fight. We got the Pistons losing bad. We got the world. We got politics. We got the news that'll give you the blues. What is going on, everybody? Good morning. Hope you got your coffee in you and you're percolated, devastated, eliminated. Let's do this stuff and don't be hated. All right, you know what I'm talking about. It's the show. Shut up when grown folks are talking. All right, so how's everybody doing this morning? Today I'm kicking it off with a little bit of Trump derangement syndrome. How do we know if we have Trump derangement syndrome? Well, I guess it's a pretty easy litmus test. It's whether or not you support the president of the United States. Do you think he's doing a good job? Me, I think I have a little bit of Trump derangement syndrome, not because of him being a president, but him being a polarizing figure in politics. And I don't think those two belong together. I don't think that somebody from his past, because he's a man's man. He's always been like a playboy. Oh, Donald Trump, he owns this, doing this casino. He's got all these different buildings. He's been sued time and time again for being a slumlord. He was just kind of a real piece of shit even before that. And then if you ever watched his show, You're Fired. I mean, he's just behind that desk, jerking off. That kind of stuff gets people like that who have power want more power. Then it becomes a vacuum, and you suck everything in. Right now, Trump is just one big bloated orange ready to just blow up with egomaniac and it's insanity. But do I think he's doing a good job as being a president? Sure. We do have a conflict with Iran but do I have to like the guy? No, I don't have to like him. Do I respect him as my president? Yes. Am I going to go and walk around saying stupid shit and have stupid signs that say no kings and everything out without properly understanding what I'm dealing with or talking about? No, because I don't think any of you guys do who do this stuff. Like I said, I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I vote for Jesus. That's it. I vote for God. Please help me so I don't have to strangle or kill a motherfucker today. That's what I vote for. So let's get into it a little deeper. So if we look at Trump's record so far, what has he done for the economy? I mean, he closed the borders, and that's a big significant thing, is because the president that we had before was totally out of it. He was like a walking, what's that guy that, hey, welcome to Tales of the Crypt. Yeah, he was the crypt keeper. You know what I mean? He didn't have a clue what was going on. You'd see the guy, he'd be looking there and, like, oh, your hair smells great. Your hair. Tripping over his own self and shit like that. We didn't need a president like that. Opening the borders. And it's funny, I can remember that when it happened, it was like, boom. Caravan after caravan just loaded up on wagons, bicycles, barefoot, walking out of their shoes trying to get to America. Coming in droves, killers. There's also, there was a lot of nice people that probably came through, but the majority was empty insane asylums and people who didn't fit in society there. So what happens? They come here and try to fit in our society, and now they're killing, raping, pillaging, taking, absorbing all of the things that we need to survive as a nation. Do you understand how that works? Well, if you don't, then you're just a dumbass. Just like Red Foreman said. You know the show that I'm talking about, that 70s show? You're a dumbass. So don't be a dumbass. Read a book. Read what you're talking about. Go through. See both sides of the story. So the biggest, greatest thing that the man has ever done was secure our border. That alone makes him great. Just doing that alone saved lives, saved the amount of fentanyl being pushed over. And his agenda is it's the truth. He speaks the truth. Even if you don't like it, he tells the truth. And that's what I do like about him. Like I was telling you, there's the things I don't and the things that I do. So let's not get it twisted. Do I think he's doing a good job? At this point, no. I do not think he's doing a good job. I think he's cut too much out of the the funding for lower class people. I sit here on disability and I get barely enough to just to hang on. Why prices keep rising, us people, us poor people have to suffer, still sit here and suffer. And you're probably looking at me like, you look like you're fit enough to go to work. Motherfucker, you don't know me. You don't know what I go through every day, how hard it is for me to even get through the day. You don't know what medications I'm on. You don't know me. You know, what you do, what you see is me talking to you and telling you all my stories and everything is because that's what I need to do to keep me from losing my mind. Yes, I have mental problems. I can't do 9 to 5 menial work like that and not just lose my mind. You know, I'll be wearing a helmet with a drip cup, popping M&M Thorazine pills, doing the Thorazine shuffle down the hallway, talking about President Trump is beautiful. You know, no, we don't need that. We don't need that type of Dougie. So I'm not trying to be angry with anyone, but don't judge a book just because you read the cover. You need to get in there, read the book, and formulate an opinion based on facts. And the facts are this, that he's got us into a war that is absorbing too much of our resources and causing prices to go skyrocket high. He's got tariffs on every country that he possibly can. The Supreme Court even shot it down, said it was unconstitutional. But he can change the name, flip it around, and do whatever. That's got prices going sky high. The thing that you want the most in a president is you want a commander-in-chief and a protector and somebody who's going to be like, hey, I'm going to protect you and I'm going to help this country grow and unify one. So has Trump unified us in any way? No. Has Trump helped the economy grow? Maybe a little bit here and there we're growing. You know, we were. And then he decided to do the Iran thing, and boom, right down in the gutter we go. Gas prices are high. The stock market is high, but I tell you what, I don't have any money in the stock market, so it ain't making me rich. Is it making the regular, everyday 9 to 5 consumer rich? Maybe in your 401k, it is rich and you're happy. So please, somebody explain it to me, because last night I dug deep and I did my research and I tried to find out, you know, what makes a president great. What are the things that we need to see happen to give him to take a litmus test to see if this president is doing his job? And everything that I see, about 35% of the country agree that, yeah, he's doing a great job. The other 65% say no. And I don't know where I stand with it, because I think that Iran war is a mistake. I think you should have just went in there, obliterated their whole nuclear thing. And if they started again, just do the same thing. It don't cost you much to fly a plane in there with precision, you know, and tell them, say, hey, here's the straight, open it back up the way everything was running before. Do what the hell you want with it, but we're going to build a special thing there and have like a U.S. envoy always right there. Maybe leave a carrier there. Build a whole brand new carrier, call it Hormuz or something, and making sure you got enough jets to fight off anybody that tries to mess around in there. Just protect that whole thing so they're not shooting down stuff like that, and get the hell out of there. It's just frustrating to me. It's frustrating because, for one, I don't have the words in my brain to articulate it to you to the way that it would make sense, because how I see it in my brain is not how it's coming out of my lips. I'm kind of a loner. I stay at home. I do YouTube. I go to the gym. I have my little friends that I talk to when we're at the gym. Like, I have a friend, Larry, who gives me good ideas. He's always sending me great things on a lot of issues, and some of them I wanted to share today with you guys. I tried to do it the other day, but my phone was just acting kind of weird. So I want to get into some of those things today with you guys and tell me what you think. So what we were talking about is Trump doing a good job in your eyes? And if you do think, I'd like to get into that conversation with you. I know it's a crazy, slippery slope, but I want you to tell me in the comments, where is he doing the good job? So we can just have a genuine back and forth. You know, we'll keep it clean. You know, you can debate me and I will, you have your computer in front of you, I have mine, and we'll fact check each other and we'll do it. We can do it online. Email me and we can have this conversation at any time. You tell me where that you think that the United States of America is heading in the right direction, because gas is $5 a gallon, electricity is skyrocketing, the cost of living is way too high. Yeah, the stock market's up and all that, but you can't trust that. That's a man-induced thing. That's all the Rockefellers and all the rich people. So I think I have a valid point in saying that precious metals would be the way that I would want to invest. I wouldn't want to invest in anything else, which, everybody does invest in 401ks. But, I wonder what the whole thing is with the 401k. Say you've been in a 401k and you've been in it for 20 years and you get in a car accident and die. What do you think happens to that money? Have you ever seen anything happen where, his 401k goes to who? Have you ever seen that happen? Because I've never seen it happen. So if you know of someone that was in a thing, had 20 years into his 401k, he didn't have it assigned to anybody, and then he ends up passing away, where does the money go? It goes nowhere. It goes to the next of kin. Because, I think a lot of that is it just gets absorbed because people don't realize that, hey, I didn't realize that he had $2 million in a 401k. Did you? No, because they're all these investment companies aren't going to send you a letter. They're going to make you do your homework. But there is a site that you can go on and you can check if somebody has money for you, or a distant family member, say he had died a long time ago and had money that's just sitting there. You might be entitled to it. So we need to be aware of these things about trusting the government and putting our money into these 401ks and these stock markets and all this other stuff, because the stock market can be manipulated. And how it's manipulated is by the president. He can manipulate it. He can say right now that he's pulling out of the Iran war. Somebody could hear it, right, and go put a ton of money on something that's down right now. And then as soon as he hears it and they say it, boom, that's going to shoot right up. He sells out. He just made himself millions of dollars. That's simple. That's what happens with the Democratic nominees who are in Congress. Like the Republicans and the Democrats. That's how they all get rich. It's all insider trading. It's all lobbyists who come in and say, hey, look, I'm trying to push this bill because I don't want to pay these EPA fees and everything. What I'm going to do, give you a kickback. You support me, and boom, 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 we all get rich. So you just tell me one person in Congress who ain't rich, and I'll pack up and leave right now. I'll shut right up. You can't say that not in all of them are. And when I say rich, I mean they all got at least $1 million, and their salaries are only $160,000. So you do the math. You tell me why are most of them worth more than $10 million? I don't know. Let's look it up. Let's look it up together. This would be something. This is just a laid-back kind of stream we're doing today anyway. I got the B-roll. What's up on the B-roll over here? Yeah, what's up, B-roll. B-roll is kind of some raw footage just in case, so I have that. But what we're looking up today is, I'll tell you what. Somebody send me some mouse pads. I'll give you my address. You can send them. Send them to 1111 Catherine Street. Lot 8, Big Rapids, Michigan, 49307. That's 1111 Catherine, CATHERINE, Street, ST, lot, LOT 8, Big Rapids, Michigan, 49307. I need some mouse pads. Also, if you got something you want me to try out on stream, you got a product you're trying to push, I'm willing to push any and all products that you send me. I'll put them on stream. Like I said, this month I had 40,000 views. So your product would be seen by a lot of people. Normally, I get on average of 1,000 views, and on my regular streams, they're not so good right now, but we're growing. We're going on 2 months now, so it's a slow process, but I work hard at it. So if there's something you want to send me, I just gave you my address. I'll put it up. Boom, there you go. That's the address. You can send it there, and I'll review anything that you want me to check out. That's something that I want to start doing in the stream, is reviewing things. Like I said, today, from I showed my buddy, these right here are the reverse taxis. These reverse taxis are from, I think this is an early pair from 2020. I don't know, I can't see. especially with this. Yeah, this is a 2024 pair. Still good, clean. You know, only worn a couple times to the gym. Definitely be something that I wouldn't mind throwing in a giveaway. You know, they're size 9.5. So put your shoe size out there. Let me know what you guys like. And I do want to tell you guys, we do have a giveaway coming as soon as we reach 50 subscribers. We only need 12 more people to subscribe. And then I'm giving away a couple of brand new pairs of boots to 2 people. It's going to be on stream. Hopefully we can reach 50 by the weekend. That'd be great. So what I want you guys to do is, if you're watching this stream, I want you to go tell your neighbors about Shut Up when Grown Folks is Talking. Tell your workplace. Tell your pastor. Tell your best friend. Tell your grandmother. Tell everybody. Let's get this thing out there. Help me get Grown Folks going worldwide. You know, tell people in China. Tell people in Europe. Tell people in Russia. Tell people in all across the globe about what we're doing here. We're kind of starting a little movement. We're kicking back against politics. We're kicking back against all the bullshit, all the hate, all the people that want to cause us trouble. We're not accepting being bullied anymore. We're not accepting. The only thing we're accepting is things that are worth common sense. Time out for the smoke roll. I'm in a good mood to start messing with them today. If you got any questions for me, I'm ready and willing to answer them right now. I'm not going to the gym till later because my significant other, she sent me a text today. She says, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm getting myself locked in. I want to go to the gym. So I said, okay, that's going to be one of the best things for you. Because when you have 2 people doing the opposite of each other, it's hard to come together. If you have both of you that are willing to be and go down the same road, it's a lot easier because then you're not fighting each other along the way. So hopefully this works out for us because, you know, I just talked about on stream on how things were going between us and it wasn't going great. And, you know, it's just the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of having a relationship. Relationships take work. It's not just, I love you, yeah, goodbye, you know, and all that. No, it's a constant battle for hierarchy. You know, like, no, I want to be on top. No, let you be on top. No, don't do this. Don't do that. And then you become like evil towards each other. How many people, you know, can sit here and say that they have a lot of regrets? Do you regret the way things are? Do you feel bad about not being a better person when you have the ability to do it? So that's kind of why I make this show. So all you people who are watching, you can understand that, yeah, us people who are in our 50s right now, we have a lot of regrets because we made a lot of mistakes. So if you're watching this show, you can watch and you can listen to the mistakes that were made and they might help you in the future. So that's huge. That's huge. It's like a what not to do. You know, and then along the way, I'm going to tell a bunch of jokes, and we're going to have a good time. Speaking of jokes, you know, what's a good joke that you know that you could share with the Grown Folks family? If you guys do know a good joke, let me know what the joke is, and I'll tell it on the show. Yeah, I'm sure if it's not too long, or if you do want to come on, all you got to do is just let me know in the comments, and I will... I'll invite you in. You can come in and we can talk for a while because it gets kind of crazy. You know, remember, the address is 1111 Catherine Street, Lot 8, Big Rapids, Michigan, 49307. That's where you can send all the anything you want me to try. We have a big mailbox in this park, and, you know, it accepts any type of packages. If not, they'll leave them at the front door. But like I said, I'm not afraid of people knowing where I live and stuff like that. I mean, I know a lot of people in Hollywood and all this other stuff. I'm not a famous person. I'm just a dude doing a show on YouTube, you know, to try to entertain people. So are you not entertained? Or do we need to hype this sucker up? So yeah, you know, we're just helping out a friend. I'm not going to say his name or anything, but anytime you can help somebody out, it's always nice. You know, it gives you a good feeling. And me particularly, that's one of the things that make me unique from a lot of people is, you know, I love helping people. If you're in need and you're my friend, there isn't much that I wouldn't do. You know, and I've been burned a lot, you know, by people, and I've burned a lot of people. So I think it goes kind of both ways. You kind of reap what you sow. What comes around goes around and all that jazz. So it looks like we got raffles for the brick by brick. So if you want
I'm going to put links in the descriptions for the brick by brick Jordan 4, the new one. I'll show pictures in the stream. I'll try to get this stream done today and get it out either late tonight or tomorrow, but you will have the live, but it won't be edited, so it won't have any pictures or numbers or anything like that. So if you're a sneakerhead, well, I'm sure if you're a sneakerhead, you probably already got your guy, but if you're just a normal person and you're thinking about buying a new pair of shoes and getting into sneakers, you found the right place. I'm kind of a sneaker guy, so what I'm doing is I'm going to show everybody the raffles that you can get into to try to win you a pair of brick by bricks. I'm telling you, the brick by bricks are going to be going for, they're probably going to be like $230 plus fees, so probably like $250 out the door, but they're going to be worth probably around $800. So they're definitely a double up. So if you want to, remember I told you about there's things that you can do with shoes. You can either flip them, drip them, or skip them. These would be a flip. So you could buy these, and if you wanted, you could turn around and resell them and double or triple your money. But before I do that, from all the alcohol and drug abuse, you're going to have pitfalls. You're going to have, money into these 401k, a ton of money on something that's down right now. But then as soon as you give me a kick or something, this is just a laid back kind of stream we're doing today anyway. I got the B-roll. Okay. Because the stock market right here was where I was talking about the president can manipulate the stock market by saying he's pulling out of the Strait of Hormuz. So I know what the question was. I remember. It was I wanted to see the net worth of the majority of the people in Congress to try to get a basis of the whole. Remember, like I was saying about, the lobbyists kicking them back money and them insider trading and how they're getting rich. We need to uncover that part. We need to see how dirty that swamp really is. So the way to do it is we want to look at people's financial records. So that's what I was going to do is I was going to look at the percentage of people who are millionaires in public office. And it goes down to, this snake has plenty of heads and it has plenty of tails. We are going live right now. Okay, we are live there. And what we're going to do now is look up in Congress. Okay, so more than half of the members of the U.S. Congress are millionaires, with estimates indicating that over 250 of the 535 sitting lawmakers possess a net worth of at least $1 million because lawmakers report their finances in broad value ranges. Exact figures are difficult to pinpoint, but the median net worth for members is around $1 million. So isn't that interesting that we got just a bunch of freaking millionaires running our country? So how does a millionaire, it's like a psychologist trying to give you advice about psychology and they've never read one damn book about psychological problems. It's like, hey, you got psychological problems, do you? Okay, yeah. What I want you to do is get more rest. And here's a prescription for blood pressure. Motherfucker, my blood pressure ain't high. That's how stupid it is. So how can a country that's led by millionaires succeed? The answer is it can't, because millionaire people and people who have $1 million, what their biggest thing is if you have $1 million, you want another $1 million. You want more millions. It's the greed. I'm telling you every day as I sit here and I breathe from the guts from the bowels of hell. I'm telling you that these lawmakers and these people who are millionaires, they don't know jack shit about me and you, the common people of this world, the common people of this country, rather, not the world, obviously. But yeah, they don't know absolute jack shit about what we go through every day. So how can they create laws that are just basically beneficial to the rich if they've never been poor, if they've never lived in poverty, if they've never experienced it? So what I'm advocating right now is for us to change that and to start hiring people to lead us who are just like us. We don't need rich people telling us how to live our lives and writing laws to live our lives, because who is it going to benefit? The rich people. It ain't going to benefit us That's like Donald Trump. He gutted the whole health care and the welfare system. He gutted all that stuff for everybody, which on some cases it is because it gets people up off your ass. But there's more than one way to get a person up off their butt, and I don't think just totally coming in and doing the biggest cut in history into the wealth care system isn't working, and then telling our neighbors like Canada to go to hell, telling Mexico to go to hell. Coffee's so damn high. If you go to a Starbucks, they're talking like $15 for a cup of coffee. Yeah, you know who can afford that? Rich people. So wait, are you starting to get the point yet? Are you starting to get what I'm laying down here? Because what I'm laying down is the truth. And the truth will set you free. As soon as you hear it, you'll understand it. You'll see it. You'll believe in it. When you believe in it, you can achieve it. Billionaires are running this country, not people like you and I. They ain't people that are suffering. They ain't worrying about how they're going to pay their bill or how they're going to feed their family next week or how they're going to get by. They're all set. There ain't one person that probably ain't got a closet full of Armani suits and eel-skin boots. Counting cash on the patio, dump the cash on the bed. Hey, I'm cool. I'm in Congress. I've made it. It's like making it to the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball. You know what? When I grow up, I don't want to be a football player, basketball player, NBA player. I want to be in Congress so I can go get rich. That's the new slogan. So make sure if I'm passing this down and I cut this into a short, make sure you like and subscribe it and you share it to everybody and make it go viral out there. That we don't want to go to the NFL. We don't want to go to the NBA or Major League Baseball. We want to go to Congress to get rich, because that's what you do. You go to Congress and you get rich by becoming a crook, becoming a thief, becoming an embezzler. You're taking backdoor money. You're backdooring people and you're letting us down, and you've been doing it for years, and the common people of this country are sick of it, and we're ready to stand up and fight back. It's time for us to start fighting back against this bullshit and start a revolution. So if you want to start a revolution with me and you want to join right now, you have to subscribe. Subscribe to Grown Folks, because we starting this revolution today. I'm the first soldier. You want to stand next to me? Show me your solidarity and subscribe to my channel. And let's go. Let's get this thing done. Don't let them win. We can't let them win. And we can do it because we are the people. We are people who came from farmlands, and we've conquered nations. We conquered America. We've conquered every place on this planet. Human beings, we are conquerors, and we can overcome this. We just have to vote the rich people the hell out of Congress. A congressman who I really like, that's Fetterman, because he seems like he's the most down-to-earth, kind of just like you and I. He doesn't seem to be the most intelligent person in the world. He's not the classiest person in the world. He's not flashy. He wears a hoodie just like me and you. When he talks, he kind of makes sense. Some things I think I agree with him on pretty much everything. I would vote for Fetterman to be president in a minute. In a heartbeat, he could be president. Have another Democratic president running the country that's got a brainstem. I'd vote for that Michigan Governor Gary Peters. I'd vote for Gary Peters. I love Gary Peters. The dude's smart as a whip, And just because he's a Democrat, I don't give a shit about Democrats or Republicans. I care about my country. I care about people who aren't taking bribes and who don't give a shit. It's just up there because lately, have you heard of anything changing? Nothing's changed. I'm waiting for this big thing to happen with Donald Trump's big brand new bill. You know what's a fraud? A fraud is a person who says, hey, I'm going to do no tax on tips and you're going to get no tax on overtime. It doesn't show up on your paycheck. All that shit is at the end of the year. It's all bullshit. You got to read between the lines. You got to do your homework, do your research. You'll find out he screwed the whole tax system up by doing that. So now my significant other, she's working. They're not even taking taxes out. How are you supposed to get taxes back at the end of the year that you're always waiting for, like, hey, yeah, I'm going to get my taxes back. I'm going to buy new curtains for the house or get some new tires put on my car or buy a new lawnmower, something like that. We're going to be NIGGER rich for a month or two. No, not with this tax crazy shit that's happening. And, you go to HR and you're like, hey, what's going on? They're like, I don't know. It's just what Trump did. He told us if you pay so much, you blah, 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 the big, beautiful bill and blah, 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 and you can go suck it. So, yeah, it ain't beautiful. It's the big, ugly bill. But you people don't do your homework, and you're so, just like there's Trump derangement syndrome, there's a syndrome called Munchausen by proxy and a syndrome called Stockholm syndrome, and you combine them both, and you got Trumpism syndrome, where you love Trump too damn much. You're in love with the guy too much that you become sociopathic. You got to stop that shit. He's not the savior. He ain't Jesus. He ain't going to save the world. He ain't even doing a good job running the damn thing right now. You have to believe what I'm telling you right now, because it's the truth that's bound by facts. I've looked it up. I've done my homework. And I'm not saying he's the worst president ever and he should be impeached and everything else. He's done some great things for this country, and he's done some bad things. But I give him a F on the Iran war. I give him an A+ on the border. I give him a D- on the economy. I give him an F on being just a total egotistical maniac. I give him an A for being honest and reporting the truth and being truthful and being who he is, because in all, he's a polarizing figure, kind of larger than life kind of human being, that everywhere he goes, people talk about him. He's on the lips of every news person on the planet. They're talking about Donald Trump. He has become so big that it's just amazing how big he's becoming. So I think that is what hurts him. So if you don't agree with me, let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's debate this. Tell me where he's doing good, and why I should give him a different grade than what I'm giving him. I don't dislike Donald Trump. Don't get me wrong. He's the president of the United States. It's my duty as an American citizen to respect the president of the United States, and that's what I do. I give all due respect to the president of the United States. I am not about to commit to any crazy lunatic leftist wing bullshit, nut job type shit. No, that ain't me. That ain't what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is keeping it 100 and keeping it real. Some of you guys are the opposite of Trump derangement syndrome. You got Trumpism so much that it's clouding your judgment, and the man can't do anything wrong. You're afraid to even, what he said about the guy that was murdered by his son, him and his wife, talking about, yeah, that's cool, and made jokes about it. You think that's in good taste? You think a president should do stuff like that, say shit like that? You don't think he doesn't say some pretty outlandish, crazy stuff? The guy went golfing with his little granddaughter. He couldn't shut up about himself. I saw 8 war. Nobody ever in the history of the presidency's ever done more for America than I have. Nope, I'm the greatest. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. Yeah, man, nobody wants to hear that. Just golf with your granddaughter. Kai Trump, she don't get involved. You know why? Because she probably hates it too. And the people around you don't like it. So the only way you're going to fix it is if you change and start acting like a professional instead of the person that people perceived you to be. You're doing exactly what they perceive you to be. They perceive you to be some egotistical maniac, maniacal, grandiose, all these things that are bad character defects. But you seem to fit them all right in there like a key. Boom, boom, boom. Unlock the door. It's Big Orange Man staring at you, talking about, I'm the greatest president ever to walk the planet. I've solved 8 wars in India, Pakistan. I remember what we did to Soleimani. And Ivanka, she's a lovely daughter, and Eric and Donald Jr. And my son Barron is 7 foot tall. He's so brilliant. This man is so beautiful. After a while, it gets exhausting, listening to him, because now I can see why I enjoyed when Joe Biden didn't do all these interviews and he stayed in the basement. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just having one of those days where I just don't think Donald Trump is our savior. I think he's good for a lot of things. I'm going to give him his props. And these are the things I'm going to give him his props for. The border, keeping our country safe. Yes, it's great. I'm glad that he's over there keeping us safe. And the cost of keeping us safe is too high. I agree with that. But maybe it's a necessary cost. Because I'm not a person who can tell the future, but say he doesn't do this, right? And then 5 years later, they're sending a bomb over that blows up 200,000 people. So if it saves 200,000 people and I have to put $1 or $2 more in gas by the gallon, I'm talking. So maybe when I fill up, it costs me $20 extra. $20 isn't that much. If I have to pay $20 extra in my light bill, I guess it's not that much. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to just say he's the president of the United States, and I give him his props. He is Donald Trump. Nothing more I can say about it. So let's move on. So that's basically all I got to say about that. Hope it wasn't too Forrest Gumpish, because I'm really sure if there was somebody here, they'd be pulling out the cords like, shut this motherfucker up. But no, I can ramble, with the best of them. And that's basically what happens is I get to rambling, bambling, boom, bam, blambling. So yeah, so let's get to some news that'll give you the blues. Yeah, it's time for the news that gives you the blues. Or we might say something that might make you snooze. But stay tuned because we're going to bring you the latest, the hottest, the dopest, the flyest news of the week.